Okay, welcome to A Long Time Ago with me, Adam. I'm here with Martyn, as you can see. We are back with another Making the Grade, Martyn. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a long while since we've done a Making the Grade. I'd say, at least 2 months. And this will be episode 12, I think.
You've been collecting them up, but we haven't actually done an episode. We haven't put an episode together. So this is it. This is episode 12. So for anyone that doesn't know, Martyn's on a mission to collect the original 96 Kenner Star Wars figures from between 1977 and 1985. If possible, he's going to get them graded or buy them loose and send them off to be graded. Last time out, you went from 47 figures, and we've passed the halfway point now. We are at 50 figures. We like to see how much Martyn's spending on average per figure. And also, I put the graphic up so you can all see how much he spent in total, which is always fun. Martyn skips that bit, I assume.
Yeah.
So yeah, last time out you went from 47 figures at £89.57 per figure on average, and then the 3 you picked up has brought it down to 89.20. £89.20. So not much of a change this time.
No, small victories though, Adam. Small victories.
Yeah. So yeah, you added the Leia Boosh disguise, the B-wing pilot, and the Hoth Snowtrooper to your collection. What have you got for us this week?
These are, I've got 4 pickups for this episode, and they're all pickups from Echo Base. So that's got to be over a month ago now, isn't it? Since we're recording this,
just over a month ago.
And for anyone who follows the series, they won't be surprised to hear that I got these all from Another League Toys. Good old Dan. As I say, he should be sponsoring this show.
You had to meet someone else, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, he wasn't there for the day. He was on holiday, but I met his partners on the stall. I think if you go back to our Echo Base video, you'll see some footage of them on the stall. But they had a lovely selection of graded figures there. But I'd actually pre-ordered these 4 so I could actually just pick them up on the day, because anyone who's been to Echo Base obviously knows that it's so hectic. Sometimes, if it's possible to perhaps look and purchase at what you're going to buy before you go, it's probably a good idea, because it frees you up a little bit, especially when you're trying to make a 25-minute video in the crowd. So yeah.
I did get footage. I did get footage of you collecting it, but I didn't put it in the Echo Base video because we didn't want to spoil this video. So
okay. Well, maybe if you can find it, you can pop it in over the top of it or something.
It'll be around somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll start with the first figure I picked up on the day. I'll just say, a couple of these are some fan favorites and some classics, from the 70s to 80s line, Kenner line. The first one I picked up was a 1980 Luke Skywalker in Bespin fatigues. It was a COO Hong Kong. It was UKG graded 85%, and this one was quite expensive. It cost me £150, but I'm sure, as you'll see from the video footage, it again, Another League Toys, they're just, every single one I get is spectacular, and this one is absolutely no different. The paint on it is stunning. There doesn't look a blemish. I don't know how it got a 90, but really, really chuffed to get this figure, because this is, it's a famously popular figure. I had it as a kid. I had several of these as a figure. Obviously it comes with the yellow lightsaber, which is another of the Kenner mistakes that they made, just as they did with the Jedi Luke Skywalker with the blue lightsaber. So yeah, this one's a great figure. It's got, there's several variants. I mean, lots of different variants of this figure. There's a dark brown hair, a light brown hair, and I seem to have the really yellow blonde variant of this figure. So again, just like the Jedi Luke, if I ever
Yeah.
complete this might become another figure focus for me, because there's so
Oh,
many different ones you can collect.
just gonna get all
I
the
know.
Lukes.
Yeah, all the Lukes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a great pickup. I think
Yeah.
150 is about right. I think after doing a bit of research afterwards, I think possibly could have got it a little bit cheaper. But I think in general, something that probably you've seen as well yourself over the past few months, that everything's starting to slightly go down in price compared to what it was 6 months ago to a year. I've seen some of these go for a little bit cheaper than I picked it up on eBay, even on auction. But yeah, no, this was a really good pickup, so I'm really chuffed to get it.
Nice. That is the same card backs as that figure is available in the vintage collection, isn't it? That's and also the original trilogy collection.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but I believe it was one of the. Again, I'm no expert on the card backs particularly. I mean, I know a bit of stuff about it, but when it came out for the original Kenner releases, that figure came out on a couple of different cards. I think maybe even possibly 3 different cards. I think it was definitely 2 actually, different cards. So yeah, different pictures on both. But yeah, it's a true classic figure, and I know it's a lot of people's favorite figure in all of the Kenner line. So probably in my top 5, I would say, but we'll save that for another episode, perhaps.
Yeah, I was going to say we should do that in another episode. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
Okay, so number 2. This one is another big one for me. We're getting to the point in the collection where we're starting to get some of the heavy hitters now, and this one is a 1980 Jedi Master Yoda. It's the orange snake variant, and its COO is Hong Kong. It's again UKG graded, 85%, and this one also cost me £150. So yeah, I mean, goes without saying, Yoda, absolutely fantastic figure. Also had this one as a kid.
What are the eyes? Because I've heard about the old Pac-Man eyes and stuff.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the Pac-Man eyes, and it's also got a really light green coloured skin to the figure. And a lot of the Yodas I've seen, I was really surprised actually when I picked it up how light the skin color or the skin tone of the figure is, because all the ones I've seen and the ones I had as a kid were quite a lot darker green. Again, if anyone, I'm sure the color of this Yoda is probably got a name, so if you know, please put it in the comments. But this one's
cool.
No, I mean, this one, again, it's absolutely immaculate figure, and I just can't believe that these are getting 85s. These, because they just look absolutely stunning, and there's not a blemish on them. But hey, there you go. I mean, what can you say? UKG are usually known to overgrade their figures compared to AFA, as we've learned from several sources. But I'd say these last 2 were probably either just about right or perhaps edge up to a 90. I don't know. I suppose it also depends on the actual quality of the figure, doesn't it? Because if
there's more than just the
paint. Yeah.
I was going to ask, I don't know if this is a question for you or someone like BOE or Action Figure Grader maybe, which is the rarer, orange snake or brown snake?
I mean, I've learned from Action Figure Grader that the brown snake Yoda is the rarest of the 2, or I shouldn't say rarest, perhaps the hardest or the most expensive of the 2.
Right.
But
that's a better way to word it.
Yeah, I was going to say so, but the way things are going, I'm happy to just get the orange snake. To be honest with you, I don't need the brown snake. If I could get it at the same price, fantastic. If not, orange is fine. It's just like the red snaggletooth. I was happy to get the red snaggletooth rather than the blue snaggletooth. It's still the 96, isn't it? Either way, so yeah.
One day we'll get the blue one.
One day, you never know. We might have that. We'll be doing one of our toy challenges at a car boot sale, and you never know, one of us might come across one for 10p or something.
Imagine, that would be so good.
Yeah, that would be the greatest day ever, wouldn't it?
Yeah. probably get a fair few views with that one as well, wouldn't we?
Absolutely, absolutely.
On that video.
Number
But if it
3, ready for
happens,
number 3?
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
ready for number 3. You go.
number 3 was the Ugnaught, and this was a Hong Kong COO. It was UKG graded 85%, shocker, and it was £85. Again,
85, not bad.
yeah. I mean, I assume by now we're probably putting the video up. So if you're watching that video, have a look at the quality of this figure in terms of this. I think it's called the smock, which is the purple apron that he has on the front of the figure. It's I mean, it just looks like it's just come out of the factory. It's unbelievable. I'm really, really happy with this, and I've always liked Ugnaughts. You know, they've always been a great character, well, not character, but you know, a great species in the film.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
I'm trying to think. Like, where's this one taken from? Is it Bespin?
Bespin, yeah. That's the only time they've appeared in the original trilogy is in Bespin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I mean, since we've had the Mandalorian, obviously we've become a bit more acquainted to the Ugnaughts. So
yeah. Is this,
you know,
is this one based on a particular Ugnaught, or is it just?
I don't think so. I mean, the picture on the card back just looks like General Ugnaught. You know, it's bespoke. No, it's not a bespoke Ugnaught. It's just you know, random Ugnaught. So.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have any lines or character names in the movies, not that I know of anyway. Probably do in some of the books, but not in the movies. So yeah, this is a great figure. Really, really happy. Did I say how much it was? I would say it was £85 in case I didn't.
Yeah, 85.
So I think that's a good price. Having researched it, I think that's a really good price for it. It's as I say, it's again. If I worked for UKG, this would have got a 90 every day of the week. But obviously, I don't work there for a reason.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it would be an interesting thing if you did work there. Eh? People would be yeah.
Well, there'd be a bit of a conflict in interest, to be honest.
The subject has come up on so many occasions, hasn't it? Of how do they actually grade these things? So
yeah,
you know,
it would be interesting to see the criteria. Yeah. I mean, they must have some kind of, you know, printed out criteria for each figure that they check over. You know, obviously we know they have paint, the actual condition of the figure itself, whether the limbs are loose or not, and obviously if any of them have soft goods, to see the quality of the soft goods and the weapons, etc. But yeah, there must be a little bit more to it than just that, because they must have like some sort of guide to say, right, well, I think that paint is definitely of an 85 grade. I'd be really interested to see, you know, that, I don't know what you'd call it, criteria, is that the right word?
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I should apply for a job.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could like try and track down someone that actually does it for a living, and you know, if anyone's got any contacts, like put us in touch, because it'd be good. You know, it'd be quite a good little conversation we could have with them.
That would be really good fun, but I get the feeling that they wouldn't be allowed to come on for something like this. I don't know why. I just got this feeling it would be sort of a big no-no, because I'm sure there's some sort of I don't know, things they can't say about this process, because obviously, you know, exactly, yeah. So yeah, on to number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, moving on to number 4. Not the most exciting figure in the world, but you know, obviously need it to complete the 96. It's Admiral Akbar. It's a COO Taiwan.
Most exciting,
I suppose. Sorry, but no, it's true. Well, it's true. No, I mean, you are right. He's not the. He's a main character. No, well, he is great, but I think in terms of figures, I mean, actually, no. I'm going to take that back. He's a really well sculpted figure for a 1980s, you know, action 3 3/4 action figure. The sculpt of his head is actually really quite realistic to what, you know, you see in the movies. So yeah, actually, no, he's not a bad figure. It's just perhaps it's not the most exciting, I would say, because he comes with a white stick. So I don't know. I think we've talked about this before. A lot of the Return of the Jedi figures. It's just a white stick, yeah. He sort of holds it. It's like his command stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
we said before, a lot of the Return of the Jedi figures just came with sticks. Really, they weren't blasters or rifles or anything like that. So even a lot of Jabba's goons, they all came with the sort of the sticks with the blade on the end. They weren't particularly too exciting. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, going off on a tangent. Admiral Akbar, he was a Taiwan COO. He was also graded 85% UKG. Just on that point, if you can see in the video, I don't know if you can, but there's a slight scratch on his chest plate. It's actually, it's not a scratch, it's a dent on his chest plate. So I think they might have overgraded this one slightly. I think he's got a bit of damage to him. So I'd be interested to see what other people think. If I don't know if there's any way in the edit you can zoom in slightly to the picture. If not,
Well,
I'll try and send a
yeah,
picture
I've
to
got
you.
an image, so I can. Yeah, I've got an image
Yeah.
here, so I can
Yeah.
probably.
But yeah, it's quite. It's almost like someone's bitten, you know, into his
Dog's
chest
mouth.
plate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it could have been the dog's mouth. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting that they gave him an 85. So I don't know, but yeah, he also cost me £85. And I think for Akbar that's about right from what I've looked at online. Perhaps could have got him a little bit cheaper, but then I've seen him for a little bit more as well.
Well,
So
you
yeah,
know,
so
most people know that Akbar's the only original figure that I own, and I don't
it's
have the
true. I
weapon.
forgot.
I say weapon, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's not in very good condition. He's a bit of a beater, and it
He's
cost
a
me
bit of a
£3.
beater, yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
that does, that's nothing to go by, really.
but that doesn't matter though, really. I mean, a lot of people don't care about that stuff, and to be fair, when I complete the 96 graded, I got a slight temptation to do the 96 again but loose, but not really worry too much about the condition, so I can pick them up for a few pounds here or there, just to sort of
It's sourcing
anyway,
weapons,
that's
though.
down the line. Let's not think about that now.
My way. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
sourcing the
hopefully.
weapons. So if anyone's got an Akbar weapon,
Mm.
go and send it my way, because I need that
Yeah.
for my
What's
little
your
Akbar.
feelings on Repro?
I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I mean, you might remember the toy hunt video I did in the in the Midlands.
Yeah.
I saw a R2D2, and it was £25, I think, and it had the
Oh, I
repro
remember.
sticker on it.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
just
right. Yeah.
couldn't bring myself to do it.
No. There's something. I mean, I have nothing against people who obviously if repros are a lot cheaper, so it's and it's just, if you just want them to display, it doesn't really matter. But there's something psychological in my mind that if I
Yeah,
had a figure with a weapon that wasn't a true 70s or 80s weapon,
you'll always know,
I could
won't you?
exactly, it'd always be in the back of my mind, and I'd want to perhaps replace it. Yeah,
I mean,
but
that being said, what are the chances of every weapon in your thing? Like, how do the grading guys know for sure that there's no repro weapons in there?
well, I mean, I don't know every way, but I know a couple of ways. There's the float test, and I believe that if it's an old weapon from that era, the plastic will float. If it's a repro, it's made out of plastic that will sink to the bottom of water. So people use the jug, just to pop it in, and that's one test. And a lot of the weapons also have little identifying marks that can't be replicated on a modern day. What do they use? What's the things the machines that create plastic models? I'm being a bit of an idiot. I can't think of its name.
3D
The
printer.
big, yeah, 3D printer. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's what people use to recreate these weapons, that sort of thing.
Possibly,
But yeah, so they're the two that I know of. And I think the color is another, probably, this is what I'm just thinking of off the top of my head, but I think trying to match the color is going to be quite a difficult thing to do if you're reproing a weapon. So yeah, I think there are some, because I was actually watching a YouTube video the other day, and I do apologize, I can't remember who did it, and he sent off 80 figures to be graded, and he had them all returned on this video, and he was going through all 80 of them, and 2 of the 80 he sent off were sent back with weapons that weren't original weapons, they were repro weapons. So they
Oh,
obviously knew and didn't grade them and sent them back. And he still had to pay for the grading cost, even though
oh no.
they hadn't,
Oh, that
turned
sucks.
out to be. Yeah, that does suck, doesn't it? But I suppose they put the time
Mm.
in to research it. So,
True.
yeah.
True.
So
Um,
that's it for this episode in terms of pickups.
well,
So,
just quickly, whilst we're on the subject of the weapons, I want to go back to the Ugnaught because I've just had a look at the image. What the hell's his weapon?
a briefcase or a toolbox or something like that, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Yoda gets the little light thing that he plays with R2D2 and a stick. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. The other thing then I forgot to ask you is what have you learned in the because we often ask you what you've learned in the time. Anything?
Well,
Anything to report this week?
I mean, it's because it's been such a long time since we've done a Making the Grade episode. I suppose I will throw in the fact that it's proving to become a little bit too expensive now, and collecting all of I'm getting to the expensive ones now. Not that it hasn't been expensive before, but it's starting to get really expensive, and it's now sort of I think we might have alluded to this in previous videos, but it's got to the point now where it's affecting any other collecting I want to do, because I'm going places. I'm going to Echo Base. I'm going to Sandown. I'm going to other things. I'm seeing things online, and I'm not buying them because I need to save that money. Yeah, because I'm saving, and I suppose that's a good thing, because I do really, really want the 96. It's always been a dream really to have the 96. So that's one point I would say. But yeah, I mean, I used to collect the Lego Ultimus Collector Series sets, and I had about 15 of them, I think. You probably remember from my old Star Wars room at the old house, I had all the massive Lego sets, and I sold them all except for the original Ultimate Collector Series Death Star that came out about, I think it must have been about 10 years, 11 years ago now. But I actually sold that a couple of weeks ago. I dismantled it and took it apart and sold it. And, that basically, the money I made from that is going towards graded figures. So yeah, I'm still selling a lot of my old Star Wars stuff that I don't display anymore, and it just sits, gathering dust in order to get this stuff. But eventually, when we come to, I don't know, the pop-up lightsaber R2D2, did you see the video at Sandown where the guy said, "Oh, it's £700, but I'm going to put it up now."
Yeah.
It's I mean, for an R2D2, £700. I just can't. I physically couldn't do it. My brain wouldn't allow me to do it. So there's going to have to be something we're going to have to do. We're going to have to find one, or try and piece one together.
A miracle,
so
basically.
Again, yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's making the yak face seem quite easy to get now, that pop-up R2D2. So we'll see. Yeah.
Good. Well, that's it. I'm going to put the graphic up right now so you can see how much Martyn spent and how many figures, and lovely little graphic. So yeah,
it's really. I think Adam needs a lot of props for this graphic, 'cause it looks awesome. I really want a poster of it when I've finished, without the prices on, obviously.
Well, I was going to say I'll get it for you for your next birthday, but there's no guarantee that you'd have had the 96
Never
by then. So
no.
So, yeah. All right, good. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already, and we will catch you in the next one. I'll see you later.
Bye.